When a higher rated player is playing a much lower rated player, besides just tactical oversights, a lot of times it's the stronger player is making mistakes, but the weaker player is not seeing them, first of all, and not capitalizing on them. And what happens is you'll see the evaluation bar fluctuate up and down, and then eventually the bad player, or not the bad player necessarily, but the more inexperienced player will make a mistake, and then that experienced player is going to capitalize on it and jump on it immediately. And in this game, that's exactly what happens. I make a couple of mistakes that I noticed during the game I was making, and as soon as my opponent made a mistake, I was able to jump on it and win the game pretty quickly. Now, here we have a Sicilian defense opening, a very normal position. You've probably seen it a lot if you played, especially in tournaments. But here I'm playing a6 here. That's just to keep the knight out of here, to coming in here at some point. So he trades, and he pushes my knight, and we have a series of trades here. Now, this game is, he's actually, white is better here. It's not winning, but he's better. His bishops are better than my bishops. So I have to kind of untangle and do something, get my light square bishop into the game, my rook's into the game, my queen maybe into the game. So anyway, here's where the game really starts. So I'll start here. So our opponent, of course, we have to see what our opponent's trying to do and look for our opponent's threat. And here, that's the biggest threat you can possibly have in chess, which is checkmate. So now we have to look for ways to defend it. We can defend it like this, although that wouldn't really do anything because after en passant, he's still threatening checkmate. And now he's also, busted open our king position. This isn't really good. It's actually completely losing. So the only way to protect it, really, is either h6 or g6. But h6 doesn't really work either because of all these sacrifices, and now we're getting destroyed. So we have to play g6. That just blocks everything. It also wins a tempo on the queen. So now white has to move away, and after white moves away, now we can make another move. So f5 is just taking control of the center of the board, which we want to do in chess. It's blunting the bishop even more. And if he plays a move like en passant, I'll just simply take that point to that time to get my queen developed into the game. Okay, so my opponent plays bishop d4. It's okay. I develop my queen, and he plays f4. Now, f4 kind of locks down the position. It's not really doing anything to open the position. And he wants to open the position around my king, if anything, not really close it. So not really a totally useful move, but not completely bad either. Here I play c5. Again, I'm trying to control the center. I'm trying to push the bishop away. And he moves back. So now I just develop my bishop. He plays c3. It's an okay move. And now I play, as soon as I play this, I realize I'm just losing a pawn here. And there's really nothing I have here. It's not the end of the world, but I shouldn't have played that. So he doesn't take advantage of it, though. Now, a couple reasons why this happens. And one of the reasons is, the less common reason is, players don't see it. But even lower rated players usually will see if you're dropping a pawn or a piece or anything like that for free. So he probably, it's more of a psychological issue. He probably thought, oh, I'm a high rated player. I'm not just going to drop a pawn for no reason. There must be a trick, or it must be something, or it must work out for me in some way. But in chess, all you have is yourself. There's no coach telling you what to do or teammate. So you have to trust yourself first and foremost, and that's a psychological factor you have to have if you want to get better at chess. And my opponent just kind of probably took it for granted that I had something up my sleeve, but I just blundered a pawn. So he plays this instead. I take, and now I put my bishop here, just trading bishops, offering a trade. He doesn't take. He comes back, and I take the open file for my rook. And here I actually, it looks like a useful move because I'm preparing to double my rooks on an open file, and I'm pinning his bishop to his queen. However, it is a blunder, and I saw it right away after I played it, and my opponent missed. Now, this blunder I don't think was psychological. I think my opponent just missed it because for a 1,000 rated player, I don't think they would find this move. It's not the hardest move in the world to find, but for a player at 1,000 rated, I don't think you would probably find this move. Anyway, see if you can find the move. The move is bishop f5. Now, the point is, Now, if I take his queen, he takes my queen, not to mention with check. And after I take back, he takes back, and he's winning. So my thought process was, okay, if he does hit me with this move, I would just play queen c6, and now I'm guarding my rook. I'm attacking the queen, and I'm not really attacking the bishop because I'm pinned. If the queen moves out of the way, I can take the bishop. But still, he just has bishop d7 here. And now he's attacking the queen again. If I take, he takes. And if I just move out of the way, then he can just play bishop, queen g4, protect, and he's just winning pawns on me. So again, I made mistakes too this game. He didn't capitalize on them. And here he just played rook d1. And now I saw that my rook was under attack with that tactic, so I protect my rook. Now this doesn't make any sense because I would just take, and if he takes, I would take back, and it doesn't make any sense at this point. So I protect my rook, and not to mention I also increase the scope of my bishop. So I'm opening diagonals to my opponent's king at the same time. So usually when I make a move, I try to make, have combined 2, 3, or more ideas in one move. But here my opponent just goes to challenge the rook. I double up, and now my opponent goes back. I guess he wanted to keep an eye on this bishop, and because I was going to pin it, which I eventually do, and that's what I do in this move. So I pin his bishop. So he's actually playing pretty well. He didn't capitalize on a couple of mistakes, but they weren't completely obvious. And now I'm pinning him, so I have a better position, a borderline winning position. He just has to defend the right way, which is really hard in chess, but he plays the losing move here, and that's bishop e1. Now, it looks like it makes sense. It's not terribly obvious that this is a bad move, but it is a mistake, and it's a mistake just because I can just simply play rook b3. Now, rook b3 just simply maintains the pin on his bishop. If he plays something like rook b8, I would just play this move. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's kind of crazy because what if he just takes? Well, then I would just take, and I have check. And then after the king moves, I would play c2. And I'm forking both his rooks, and not to mention he can't take because I'll take, and he's completely lost in this position. So that's hard to see, but when you're building the pressure and you get a better position, more space, more active pieces, all the tactics are going to work out for you. Okay, so anyway, he didn't do that. He just played king a1. So to his credit, he saw some tactics here. He saw that he probably saw something, either that specific tactic, maybe not that specific one, or something similar where I get a check at the end and I win material. So I play king g7 here, and that's just to get my king safer on the dark squares because the light square diagonal is open. And he plays a4. He doesn't really know exactly what to do here, but this is a mistake in his position. His position is now totally, completely destroyed. And when it's time for me to capitalize on a bad position, I take advantage of it right away. Now, try to find the move I played here. The computer, I didn't say this, the computer says it's brilliant. I don't think it, I really actually don't think it's brilliant by any means, but it is a good move, and it's the best move to play, most importantly. Try to pause your videos, try to find the move. Here I played rook c2. Now, rook c2 is the best move because it's attacking g7, g2 with check. Now, if he takes, right, we just take his queen, so there's that. And if he blocks, we just take the bishop, and we're just up a piece. So now we have to look at the move rook d2, because that blocks and still guards the bishop, and it's putting pressure on my rook. But I would just simply take here, and then after he takes back, now we just win the piece. So again, that's why there's really nothing white can do in this position after rook c2. It's pretty much over at this point. He actually just takes the rook here. I take his queen, and I'll just show you how I clean this game up. I just anchor my bishop here. He falls for a skewer. So I hit him with the skewer, and now I just attack, take advantage of a tactic. He can't take here because I will checkmate him. So he had to come back, and then I just took, and this was the game. Anyway, hopefully you guys found that video instructive. A lot of times players don't capitalize on other players' mistakes, and usually the better player will seize the moment and capitalize on a blunder or bad position. Anyway, if you like that video, check out this one. I'll catch you guys next time. Go play some chess.